Aloha once again, friends and family. Gonna try to bring this forward. One of these topics that's kind of hard to put into words. Let's start out with questions. Is God the universe? Is God the universe? Is God everywhere in the universe? If you say yes, then that means every single thing and place within the universe is God. Okay, there's one God, one consciousness. In the universe. How does God experience life? Does he not experience life through us? Isn't our consciousness an individuation of the one consciousness, which is God? So then it becomes evident. We are God, experiencing life with our consciousness, which is what I've been calling the cosmic consciousness. But see, even I have made the mistake of dividing things up too much. Like there's this consciousness, that consciousness, and the other consciousness. There's just one consciousness. Call it whatever. Cosmic consciousness, straightforward consciousness, whatever. It doesn't matter. There's one. There's one. So then it occurred to me, humanity's biggest problem, bigger than all the other problems that we would say, these are problems, yeah, but go to the core, go to the root problem. And then all those other problems will sort themselves out. But what's the root problem? The root problem is idolatry. Idolatry. What do I mean? The second we make God separate from ourselves and give God an identity other than you yourself, you created an idol. So making Jesus God is creating an idol out of Jesus. Making the fictional character Jehovah God is creating an idol. Making Allah God is creating an idol. If you were thinking that Buddha was God, you created an idol. All right. Once we grasp that, that seems pretty straightforward to me. once we grasp that, then we can move into the realization that God did not make some things temporal and other things eternal. Because, again, God is the universe, therefore the universe is eternal. Therefore, everything in that universe is eternal. Well, why do humans die? Because they've misidentified themselves. Again, and if you're in idolatry and you've completely misidentified God because you've misidentified yourself, then did you not create the result? See, we've been taught in this crazy world that some things are matter, some things are substance, some things are form, and these are all different, and they have different properties. And no, there is no matter. There is no matter. Everything is substance and or form. All of it eternal. So we are designed. I'm even moving away from created because I'm realizing the whole creation story as it's given in all the religions is mythology. It's mythology because it gives you a beginning. If something has a beginning, then it has an ending. So if you buy into you were a created being by this separate entity called God, then you've agreed to your ending. Because if you began, you're going to end. If you're just a mortal man, you're just this tiny little thing, created thing, then you've misidentified self. And you've agreed to the mythology. And the mythology says that you have an ending. You're going to die. See, we were not formed. God is not forming himself as me, as an individuated portion of consciousness, cosmic consciousness, so that I could just die. And we are eternal, even though we do misidentify self, and humans do appear to die. They're still eternal because they're just coming right back in a different avatar that doesn't remember anything. Okay? We are ourselves eternally. Meaning, you have your identity, whatever your identity is, and it's not separate from God. It's God as self-realized. So we should realize we are God. That is our identity. And that is eternal. But the minute we buy into the mythology, the minute we enter into the duality, and we have misidentified self, then we are basically agreeing with something other than that which is. And it still doesn't negate the fact that you're eternal. Like I said, you will come back. You just won't know yourself. You won't remember yourself. And you'll be offered all these idols to pray to and exalt as God. That would be like, I don't even know what that would be like. It would be wrong. That's all I know. It would be a mistake. It would be a mistake to think that Jesus was God or Jehovah is God or any individuated external person, place, or thing other than consciousness, the one consciousness. The one consciousness is within you. That one consciousness knows that the whole of the universe is God. Perfect, and perfection. Perfect universe, perfect God, perfect forms and manifestations, the highest of which being a man. With this consciousness, and with this consciousness, he should be able to recognize that he is this eternal God, individuated as we say, me. And I will always be me. I could never be anything other than me, right? Neither could you. If you were something other than you would not be you. So God is experiencing itself as man or individuated portions of consciousness, of the one consciousness that is eternal. That is eternal. He does not, he doesn't create, I hate to use that word now because I'm realizing that's not right. He doesn't form, we don't bring into manifestation anything outside of eternal, because is not the universe eternal? Because it doesn't have a beginning or an ending. We intuitively know this. Hopefully we do. So therefore, nothing was meant to decay and break down and die. But you see, having the power of God, you can alter that which is to some degree. Because you can experience breakdown, decay, and death. Because we were taught for millennia now, we've been taught to believe this crap. Believe that death is part of God's creation. Believe that decay is part of God's manifestation. Believe that aging is just normal and slowly becoming decrepit and unable is normal. And a lot of these revelations, these wrong revelations, came from the idols. Because haven't a million people said, God told me this, God told me that, Jesus told me this? Well, you could talk to them. So, I mean, Jesus can tell you stuff. That's different. See, that's different. You can commune with Jesus, but don't elevate him to be God, because he is not your God. See, he was God because he knew he was God. So he was God, but he was not your God. See, that's the difference. That's where you got to get this. You are God the same way Jesus knew that he was God. You should know that you're God. You should know that you and the Father are one. And see, even using that word is dangerous, because already we've begun to divide. Oh, there's me and there's the Father. No, there's one consciousness. So he could have said, and probably would if he was here today, because we're beyond that language and that thinking somewhat. I and the consciousness are one. So we are the manifestations of this eternal God, meant to be eternal, created perfect. I use that word, created. Manifested perfect, because there's not some entity scraping up scoops of dirt from the ground and making humans, because that would clearly be duality right there. That's a picture of duality. All those myths root that duality into us. And we've been forever searching for this externalized God ever since, and not having a whole lot of luck. And then when somebody finally had the revelation like Jesus did, and they knew, oh, I am God. I am the manifestation of God. I am a manifestation of the one consciousness. And this consciousness reveals this. We better kill him. He's gone too far. You're not allowed to say that. You're pissing off our idol. You're desecrating our idol. So to the idolatrous world, you dare not say these things, right? I'm only saying it to you on a video because I know there's just a few people. And most of you are enlightened, so you're not going to pick up rocks ready to throw them at me for saying this. And nobody can reveal this to you. Nobody. If you don't get this, or you don't think this is correct, nobody can reveal it to you. So you will have to go deep into meditation. You will have to go deep into the silence and the stillness and have this discovery within yourself. Because even Jesus, in all of his wisdom and all of his teachings and everything else, look how few grasped what he was saying, and in turn made him an idol, instead of realizing he is the ideal. See, he is the ideal, not the idol. So embody the ideal, visualize, think about, dwell upon, meditate the ideal, meaning for your own life. Like, what is your life? What is your future, if you will? Idealize it. Idealize it. And don't idolize it, idealize it, and then embody the ideal. So abundance, right? Eternal. whatever, anything you want, whatever you want. In line with the heart, in line with the cosmic law of love. And if you, whatever you want, you're going to want to give that away. So if you want love, be prepared to give a lot of love away. Because as it flows out over here, it's going to flow in over here. And the same with anything. Anything we would want. And really, we probably don't have a lot of want, because again, is not the universe created whole? Is there lack anywhere in the universe? No. Again, it's perfect. It's manifested perfectly. It's held in place perfectly. Perfect order. Okay? We are a microcosm of the universe. That's what a man is. A microcosm of the entire universe. And who but God is holding the universe? Oh, there's a deer over there. Nice. Who's holding that in perfect order? Is the universe abundant? Then you are abundant. Does the universe reveal love? Then you are a revelation of love. So it occurred to me that's man's biggest problem. Maybe his only problem is that he is in idolatry and he does not identify God, or he has misidentified God. And by misidentifying God, you also misidentify self. So if that's been you, don't spend another lifetime in idolatry. Break that cycle. Break the cycle of idolatry. And we don't even become anything, because again, everything is already perfect. Everything's already perfect. So we're not becoming some eternal spirit. Everything is spirit now. There is no matter. There is no matter. Everything is spirit. So the thing that the matter that we've been calling matter, it's spirit. It's all one thing. It's all eternal. But duality, misidentification, will make you think, oh no, there's matter, then there's spirit, there's flesh, and then there's spirit, and then there's soul, and then there's mind, and then, see, and I've been doing this my own self, trying to figure this out, trying to come to the understanding. And for the mind, that's all, that gives the mind something to do, I guess, to think about all these differences and all these parts and all this separation. Again, separation, duality. We're shedding duality. It is all one universe. There is one consciousness, and it is God's consciousness, and you have and are God's consciousness. Therefore, you can identify your true self. So I think that's plenty for today. Let me see if I can get you a shot of the deer through there. Hey, Mr. Deer. Love, unity, and light. My eternal brothers and sisters. Until next time.